What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the Ram TRX alongside the Ford Raptor. These are two off-road focused, super popular trucks in today's market. Big shout out and thank you real quick to Carolina Auto Direct. Both of these trucks are currently on their website. Check them out, linked down below. So biggest difference between these two trucks, the Ram has a 6.2 liter supercharged 8-cylinder engine, pumping out 702 horsepower with 650 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and 0 to 60 time is 3.7 seconds. Now over on the EcoBoost Raptor, you're looking at a 3.5 liter 6-cylinder twin-turbo motor with 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque, 10-speed transmission, and 0 to 60 is about 5.2 seconds. So clearly right off the bat, the Ram TRX with that supercharged V8 is significantly more powerful and faster. You can get a Raptor R though with a supercharged V8, which is pretty much neck and neck as far as power levels. However, these two trucks are very similar in price point. So now let's take a look at the exterior styling, purely subjective. Over on the Raptor, of course, we have a really cool design, Ford written out in huge letters. You have all these lights that will light up as well. Really cool design for all of the mesh and a nice set of LED headlights. You got Raptor in there, LED fog lights. You even get a metal front bumper, all the tech you would expect. The hood itself has a pretty cool design with some vents and Raptor. Over on the Ram, you can see similarities. You know, it has that aggressive look. You got Ram written out in big letters, big mesh once again to allow cooling to the engine. You do have metal tow hooks on each vehicle, and once again, you have more metal on the bumpers, LED lights, things like that. You also get a huge hood scoop, heat extraction vents, and the 6.2 liter badge. So honestly, the exterior design, purely subjective, I think they both look fantastic. If you think about an off-road focused F-150, that's what I imagine. And if you think about an off-road focused Ram, that's kind of what I imagine. Side profile, these are both full crew cabs, they're pretty similar. You have wider fender flares and overall like extra width compared to the normal trucks on each of them. Huge wheels and tires, crazy suspension setups as well. So really can't complain with just the overall styling. I think they both look fantastic. As we make our way to the rear, once again, huge bedside just to give this extra width. The TRX has a lot of bulges to it, and it is a massive, massive truck. In back, you get Ram written out, integrated dual exhaust, tow hooks, and then you get another metal bumper in back. Looking at the F-150, similar proportions, full crew cab, not quite as wide. The width is more of the fender flares. The bodywork itself is a little bit wider than standard. However, the Ram certainly is a little bit wider and a little bit bigger. And then in back, once again, massive badging, metal bumper, tow hooks, and a dual exhaust. So purely up to you, whichever truck you think looks better is the one that you're gonna like better. I think they both look great. I really don't have any complaints. Moving to the interior now, this is where people seem to differ quite a lot. I think the Raptor looks fantastic. We have a really cool design along the door panel, some nice leather material. I mean, all your buttons that you would expect, upgraded Bang & Olufsen audio, power controls, really nice seating with all the leather material. And when you're in it, I mean, this is a nice place to be. You have a beautiful leather steering wheel with massive paddle shifters. You have the massive Sync 4 screen right in the center, as well as the gauge cluster. And then when we fire it up, EcoBoost, not quite as loud as the V8, but the interior itself, it's a comfortable place to be. All your technology, you still get all sorts of storage space. Something that I like with Fords, you put that down, you get a workstation. So if you're gonna use your Raptor as a work truck, laptop, food, papers, whatever you need to do, the Ford has you covered. You also get a panoramic roof, extra auxiliaries. I mean, again, it's subjective. Whatever truck you like is gonna be the one you're gonna go with. Back seat space, being a crew cab, perfectly comfortable in here at 5'11". I really have no complaints. You have plenty of leg room, foot room, things like that. Seats fold up and we get all sorts of storage space. And heck, why don't you just take the camera and walk right through this truck, join me in the TRX. I don't think you can complain with the sizing of an F-150. So back seat space now. There is a little bit nicer interior features. You get a little bit more leathers, Alcantaras, and things like that. So the Ram, I can see it being a little bit step up. But back in here, you have a lot of space, as expected, super roomy. Again, these trucks are really comparable. You have a lot of the similarities between the sizing of them and the styling. Let's hop into the driver's seat now. So like I said, the Ram, you are gonna see a few things that are a little bit nicer as far as the interior. Again, with the Alcantara, a little bit extra pieces of leather everywhere. So I can see how there is just that much extra attention to detail. I still think the Ford looks fantastic. So in here, you have a beautiful interior, and let's hear that V8 just a little bit. All right, that right there, that is a huge difference between the V6. But when you're in here, I mean, you got a pretty cool interior, vertical screen rather than horizontal, all the same technology you would expect. Basically the same, just different layout. Not quite as cool center screen, however, you still get a pretty nice center display. You get the massive paddle shifters, you have drive modes, launch control, things like that. A lot of storage space in the center, you know, all sorts of space. So I don't know, they're really, really comparable as far as just fundamentals looking at truck to truck. I don't think you can clearly pick a winner. I think it's purely personal taste. Now let's move on to the bed space, because these are still trucks at the end of the day. You want to use your truck for truck things. So in this Raptor, soft open, and when it gets all the way down, you have spots for C-clamps. Again, if you're gonna use this as a work truck, and you have an integrated step, which makes it just that much more usable to actually have this out on the job site or hauling a utility trailer of some sorts, using this for the trucky things. Now, when we head over to the TRX, I'd say the biggest downfall is the fact that you don't really have anything like that. You might be able to get the barn door tailgate, however, you don't get a step or anything. So I think the Raptor is just a little bit more usable, especially with that center console and the step. However, you have all the space you can need in both of the trucks and insanely lightweight tailgate. With that said, let's get a rev of each truck and then take them for a spin, see what you're getting. These both are similar in price point. Is that V8 that much more fun to drive? Let's see. All right guys, so we are setting off in the Raptor. We're gonna start off in this. I will say the EcoBoost sounds really good. They've tuned the exhaust really nicely on these newest generation Raptors. It sounds good. So when you're in it, kind of some basics, you feel nice and high up. The suspension, really soft, really comfortable. Huge amount of glass and good visibility. All the mirrors do a great job. I mean, it's just a normal, nice truck to be in. Really can't complain. I mean, the tech, I feel like it works really nice. It's just kind of what you would expect. It's a really nice truck to be in. As far as drive modes, we still get some cool drive modes, and you got the huge screen to go over everything. But just going into the sport mode now, we can toggle manual, we can crank up the steering response, we have normal, comfort, sport, we have the exhaust, we'll go in Baja mode, and then the suspension, we can even tone that up into a sport mode. So the EcoBoost Raptor doesn't necessarily blow your socks off as far as the acceleration. It's not that fast. It's very peppy, very well balanced for a truck, and it is certainly fun to drive. I'd love to get my hands on the Raptor R one day to just feel that out. I'm sure it's very similar to the TRX, but I do like these. It's just a nice truck to be in. Fit and finish is pretty good. The more I look at it, yeah, there are some plastics, like all this is just plastic. Plastic that looks like aluminum, plastic on the dash, and vinyl material. Again, it's not bad at all. It's just kind of what you would expect for a truck. So it doesn't really go that above and beyond as far as the luxury feeling, especially when we hop into the TRX. But it is a nice truck to drive. You really don't have any complaints. The brakes do a great job. Steering feels nice and tight. And my camera goes all over the place in the back. The 10 speed is decent. There are a lot of gears to go through that sometimes they feel a little too tall, like I was probably in like 5th gear right there, should have been a little bit lower. But the transmission's responsive enough as long as you're in the right gear. Rev matches and stuff. I mean, it is a fun truck to drive. Even taking some sharper turns on the street. I mean, it's pretty cool. All right, so we are now in the TRX. Okay, instantly the V8. This thing is quick. You put your foot on the gas just a little bit and it moves. The 8-speed delivers the power really nice. The power delivery is definitely much smoother than you're gonna get in the EcoBoost. And this truck just feels bigger and heavier. It almost, when you hit bumps, you feel like you're in an absolute tank. It really kind of does feel like a step up in just being a monster truck, basically. This feels like a properly sized, something really, really, really cool. So there is that. As far as drive modes, we can go into a sport mode, I believe. And then in manual mode, wow, throttle response is way sharper. Now it's still not like crazy fast. These are huge trucks, so they're not gonna ever drive like a sports car, but there is a significant power bump for sure in the TRX. It's pretty sweet to drive it to where, man, it's something else. I do like the 8-speed a lot better. I feel like 10-speed is just way too many gears to play with. If you're ever gonna use manual mode, 10 is just so many gears to go through. I think 8 is pretty ideal. So you feel like you're in the power band with this, and the power is plentiful no matter where you are in the revs. This does feel like a step up. I honestly can say that. You know, I've made reviews before of the TRX versus the EcoBoost Raptor, and I've kind of been really, really neck and neck. However, kind of driving them more and more seat time, you can tell that because the V8's in here, that's a huge selling point. I still like the Raptor better though, just because I think it looks just so perfect. The interior on this does feel a step up. It feels like there's more leathers. There's still some plastic stuff on it. However, it does feel a little bit step up as far as refinements and luxuries. And you kind of just get that vibe when you're in the TRX. The throttle response is just crazy. Man. Suspension, I would say, does feel softer. It feels a little bit more floaty, but not in a bad way. It feels like it weighs more, it feels heavier, but it's just so effortless just going over bumps. The Raptor, you can feel it's a little bit more bouncy, so a little bit stiffer setup, which could depend on what kind of driving you're going to do with what you're going to like better. But, man, I think the Raptor is a solid truck. It's easier to find, I would say. These TRXs sell so quickly. We've tried to film these in the last few months and they go so quick. This is probably going to get sold in the next couple days. But the TRX does give you that extra step of a little bit more refinements on the interior, and the power delivery is insane. That's what you're getting with this car. And I think the Raptor R is going to be the one, obviously, that really, really competes with this. I think I would probably end up going for a Raptor R, but if I were to pick the TRX versus the EcoBoost Raptor, I would want the Raptor, but with this engine and transmission. I think this engine and transmission is significantly better, and the fact that these both cost about the exact same price point, you know, you can get into either one, and I think the TRX, that's why they're selling so well, is because you get the V8. I think that's a huge selling point. And just the interior and exterior looks, purely subjective what you would rather have, which one you think works better. All right, let's hop out of them and see my ending thoughts. All right, so after driving in the Raptor EcoBoost and the TRX, which one is the better truck? These two particularly are about the exact same price point, and new for new, a TRX and an EcoBoost Raptor can be the same price for the most part. The Raptor R is more of a direct competitor to the TRX, given it has the same kind of engine. Between these two though, the V8 is hard to pass up. It is more fun to drive, it's faster, it sounds better. And when you drive the TRX, you can definitely feel there's a little bit more of like a solid heavy aspect to it. It feels like a premium luxury truck. The Raptor though, I am a bigger fan of the Raptors. I like them more just in general. I mean, that's a truck that's been around for like 10 years. That was the original cool truck. So I just have a soft spot for the Raptors in general. I think they're really cool. And if I was really gonna buy one, I'd really look at a Raptor. But you just can't argue with the V8. I think the V8 is the way to go. It just makes it so much more fun and dramatic to drive. But you could always tune the 6-cylinder. So with that said, I'm kind of on the fence between the two trucks. I like the V8 much better. However, if you take that aside, I just kind of prefer the Raptor just because. But that V8, I mean, that thing is insane. And I think the Raptor R would be the truck that I would personally buy if I was really gonna get something like this. So comment down below, what do you guys think? Which one is better for the money? Would you get a Raptor EcoBoost, a Raptor R, or the TRX? Comment below. And that is it then for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and check out Carolina Auto Direct. They get some awesome vehicles in all the time. Check them out. I'll see you guys in the next video.